How's it going, everybody? Combo here. Today we got 5 quick tips with the sword. If you want to channel your inner samurai and absolutely decimate the enemy team, perhaps you want to stick through to the very end of this video, as I'm going to show some things that you've probably never seen before, some of which might get patched, others of which I am very confident will stay in the game and will serve you very well when using the sword. I believe this to be one of, if not the strongest weapon on the light class. I've probably said that like 5 times now, but this time with the sword, I mean, I truly do mean it. This thing can be really oppressive on the enemy team if you know what you're doing. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Starting things out at number 1, we have the dash. Now I'm sure you've seen all over the internet the dash dagger, the cloak dagger, the grapple dagger, yada yada. In my opinion, I think the dash is the best. Now invisibility did just get recently nerfed, and the grapple hook, because you only get one use, while you can take advantage of it in some certain situations, and it certainly can help your movement, having 3 dashes with the sword is just so undeniably useful. So the way this works, right? The sword has 2 attacks, a light and a heavy. The heavy lets you charge it up, release it, and if you're on the ground, you dash forward. As you see, if I jump up here, I'm not going anywhere, right? But if I'm on the ground, I move. Well, you can actually extend the active frames of that by using the dash. So right here, right, you might think, well, there's no way I'm hitting that guy. But you can. Because as you can see, when you have the sword out, as long as that thing is still extended out, even though it's not really moving, it's still going to deal damage. So what we can do, even if a target's this far away, if we use the dash while that sword is still extended, as you can see, we can go for some absolutely stupid long-range pokes and do quite a bit of damage in the process. You can even chain this with 2 dashes, as you can see here. You can chain 2, you can make it as long as you want. As long as you keep that hitbox out when you're going for targets, you can extend the range on this thing to stupid lengths. Next up at number 2, we have momentum and the vertical dashes. Now this is really important because not every target you fight is going to be on the same ground as you. Sometimes you need to traverse, sometimes you need to hit targets on an incline, and this is very useful for that. Additionally, you want to be quick when you're using the sword, so there's a little trick you can do to maintain your momentum. So the way this works, right? If I have targets right here, as I said, if I jump while using the heavy attack, I'm not going to move at all. However, if you're using the dash, if you didn't know this, if you look in a direction, you'll actually dash in that direction. So if I jump here and look right there, as you can see, I go upwards. And this can be coupled with the sword. So all you're going to do is release that heavy attack, right? Immediately jump, activate your dash, and then you're going to look at the target that you want to hit. So it's going to look like this in full speed. As you can see right there, I go vertically and it allows me to hit that target. Now something to keep in mind, right? You have a lot more range with this thing than you think. So I can actually hit that target right there. Even though it doesn't look like I'm going to, you do have quite a bit of reach. However, taking advantage of this can really help out with those long range engagements, especially if they're on a rooftop, for example. Now for momentum, right? If you've played any game in any competitive setting, you've probably heard of bee hopping or bunny hopping. Well, turns out you can do that with the sword too, and this is not very complex, but it is going to take a little bit of practice. So the way this works, right, very similar to engaging targets here, you're going to look slightly upwards, release the heavy attack for the sword, and then dash. And as soon as you hit the ground, you want to time your jump the second your character lands. If you keep pressing jump when your character hits the ground, you can maintain your momentum and move fast. You can actually chain dashes together to keep that momentum going. So I'll show you what that looks like here. Bam, bam, as you can see how I keep that momentum there? That wasn't perfect, we'll do it again right here. So you can see I keep my momentum, charge again, dash, keep my momentum. And you may not think it's a big deal, but you can actually keep your momentum going all the way across the map if you have 3 dashes. So remember, hold back your heavy, dash like here, make sure you're holding it again, dash again. As you can see, you get quite a bit of momentum, and this is going to allow you to get to your targets or objectives much faster. Next up at number 3, we have some kill combos. Now first, I'm going to show off the calms in combo, or maybe just the melee animation cancel, because according to one of my commenters, I guess I was not the first to find this, so I'm a humble man, I will admit that. I apologize if someone found this before me, but yeah, I'm still calling it the calms in combo for the time being, because I might be humble, but I like the name better. But anyways, the way this works, right? So if you're looking at a target, all you're gonna do, and I will say this only works on console, I'm sorry PC, this will likely get patched out, so don't be too sad about it. But the way it works, you're going to use a light attack or a heavy, use your melee, and while your elbow's out, you're going to press triangle or Y to reset your animation, swing the sword again, and repeat the process. So what it looks like, as you can see right here, I'm swinging way faster than I should be able to, right? I show that off in like 4 different videos. Not gonna harp on it too much here because I want to keep it to things that are going to stay in the game. So if you want to kill a medium target in the most optimal way possible, you have 2 options, right? You have 2 charged heavy attacks, like so, that will get the job done. However, what I prefer to do actually is dash in with the heavy, hit the quick melee, and then a light attack. So as you can see here, that is another option. I think that's more reliable, doesn't take as much time, and it's more effective. With heavies, all you have to do is 2 charged heavy attacks with the sword and 2 quick melee. So as you can see here, we just got the quick melee and the charge there. And even if you miss the quick melee, as you can see right there, that is enough to kill. And with lights, you have 2 options. So you can go for a light attack twice in a melee, a quick melee that is, or you can go for the heavy attack and quick melee, which will also one-shot them. So just keep those in mind. Most of the time, in my opinion, try to avoid using the heavy attack when you can, because you might not have enough dashes, you might miss it, it leaves you more vulnerable, but always initiate with it. As I showed here, you can kill with 2 dashes, but in my opinion, going for the quick melee into the light attack is much more effective. Moving on to number 4, we have the invisibility tech. Now this isn't really a tech, just something to keep in mind, right? As I said, you should probably be using the dash because the dash is going to allow you to have that movement as well as keep your momentum, extend the range, so many benefits, right? But you can also use the vanishing bomb for something very useful when using the heavy attack. So if I go invisible, for example, right? Check this out. So I go invisible, I can still charge back my heavy attack without becoming visible. And what this allows you to do is charge up that heavy attack, come out of the blue, and do a ton of damage. This might seem small, but I promise you, this can be a huge, huge thing, especially when a target doesn't know you're there. Let's say I'm over here waiting in the corner, charging up my heavy, I'm gonna crouch in, bam. As you can see right there, he didn't know I was there. I did a ton of damage, very, very strong. Definitely keep that in mind when using your gadgets. And finally, at number 5, we have sensitivity of all things. And this actually makes a huge difference with any melee weapon in this game, but I like to include it with the sword rather than the other ones because I believe it to be very important, right? So the way this works, I'm at about medium sensitivity. On PC, I mean, you guys got like full 360 sensitivity at all times, but on console this is a pretty big deal, right? So the way it works, if I'm looking over here, if I initiate the swing for my sword and look over to the left quickly, I can actually hit this target. So right here, if I swing it, nothing, right? Not hitting them. But if I start my animation and look over, as you can see right there, I actually make contact. And that's because it has active frames, and those active frames persist as you turn your screen. As you can see right there, you can get some pretty easy shots. Well, if you go into your settings and change this to max, as you can see right here, we're gonna go all the way to the max on both. You can hit some crazy shots, and not really shots, I guess they're swings, with this high sensitivity. So as you can see, it's really high right here. If I look all the way over here, oops, let me try that again. As you can see, I can basically hit targets that are behind me. So if you don't like high sensitivity, I get it. I wish there was a way to set your sensitivity with the class loadout that you are using, but if you're using the sword, you may as well use it at high sensitivity because you can do stuff like that. Anyways everyone, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below, as well as if I missed anything. Like I said, the sword has kind of got a cult following, so I'm sure there's something I missed on here, but I tried my best to cover everything. I'm just gonna say it now, this thing is super busted. I don't want to jinx anything, but I could even see this thing getting a nerf, and I mean that so seriously. So please, take advantage of this thing while you still can, especially if you can still do the constant combo on console. It is stupid strong. I've dropped like 30 kill games with this thing. I'm telling you, it's absolutely busted. I apologize again for my voice. I think in one of the tips you probably heard me dying near the end of it. My lung capacity is so low right now. Shit's going around, fellas. I'm telling you, we might be locked back indoors with the COVID shit. I don't have COVID, but it's no bueno. But anyways, this has been Combo, not gonna hold you here. If Thank you so much for coming and watching. As I said, be sure to leave a like, hit that bell. I'm just kidding, I'm not one of those. But yeah, something I'm going to say at the end here to kind of end it off. I just recently started channel memberships. They started at $1. If you want to support me, of course I do these videos for free. I don't get a ton of views. You don't have to, but it's something I throw out there. I'm only doing it for $1, and basically if you do so when I stream, just shoot me a message in chat, and you're basically guaranteed a spot to come and play along. But yeah, I'm sorry, I hate doing promos like that. It makes me feel so like corporate and shitty. But yeah, this has been Combo. Thank you so much for watching. Stay home, stay safe, and yeah, peace out everybody. Later.